Good morning, I'm Christiana and everyone. My name is Jessica Verdinado from the accounting major, Binus Online. Today's video will be about last week's video conference, specifically in August 27, where we have our first meeting and we basically talking about several materials. First materials that we discuss in the class is talking about introduction, how to make a good introduction. Like it should cover like personal information that is essential. And it needs to be um tailored based on the occasion and based on the purpose of the introduction in itself. If we are introducing ourselves in the class, and if we introduce ourselves in the workplace, and when we introduce ourselves to meet a client, new client specifically, then the flow and the material inside of the introduction will be totally different. The only thing that is similar is pretty much like general information like our names, what we prefer to be called, and those kind of like basic information that probably you want to present to those kind of people. But aside from talking about introduction, which is really insightful, we're also talking about the difference between academic English and business English, or like slash the professional English. So analyzing the difference between the two, we do found a lot of interesting insight from the discussion in the team and also the presentation later on by friends from different teams. There are a lot of like ideas, like the difference on grammatical usage, or like the purpose of the occasion is also different. Like one is for academic purpose and others is for business purposes. And aside from that, like how you frame your words in the business and also in the academic um situation will also be different. Like in academic, it tends to be more rigid and using a more specific terms that able to provide a scientific nuance on that part. But onto the business purposes usually tend to use a more technical terms that is relatable toward the industry. Like if we are in the industry of architectural industry, we might use terms like um the building, or like the basically like anything related to architectural stuffs, and like yeah, to tailor it and to adjust better to who we talk to, right? So we can convey our message better on that part. So after analyzing, after looking the materials from last week's video conference, I do found a lot of great insight for me to learn more upon how to make a better introduction depending on the situation and depending on the necessity of itself. But also a second is also like to adjust myself when I am in an academic situation. I have to adjust to use the language that is academically correct, and when in a business spectrum or in a business circumstances, then I have to be more flexible and I have to like adjust to that part as well. I cannot use terms that are way too academic that might be hard to be related by the other speaker, by our counterpart in speaking. Because mainly in business purposes, we are negotiating with the other party, or we try to convince them to like buy our products, for example, or to agree on the joint business, for example. So we want to convince them. We cannot provide a scientific data just for them to believe what we want, because sure, they might already know that kind of idea, but they are still lacking in knowledge, in specific knowledge about our company, for example, that we have to provide to them and convince like why you should cooperate with and collaborate with our company, and those kind of knowledge that might still new for them. And I think like this adds a more insight for me, which is really, really great. And I do hope that there are more insight in the upcoming video conference. And I cannot wait to have another video conference with the class, inside of the class with Ma'am Christiana, definitely. And I think that's all for this video. Looking forward for the next VCon. Thank you so much.